So you know when you open your phone, you place an order, and you kind of wonder, how on earth does Swiggy know my food is going to arrive in exactly 12 minutes, right? It's not guesswork, and it's definitely not magic. It's actually the result of this highly organized, totally invisible assembly line running right there in the background. Literally every single click, swipe, and second you spend on an app feeds into this amazing process that turns raw information into perfect, real-world predictions. Well, let's dive right into it. Welcome to Module 1 of the Horizon Intern program. Today, we are going to completely demystify that exact assembly line. We're talking about the data analytics lifecycle. And I've got to say, I am incredibly excited to guide you through this explainer today, because by the end of it, you're going to see the digital world in a totally different way. And hey, you don't need to be some coding genius or a math whiz to get this, okay? We're going to break it down simply, step by step, and focus purely on how top companies actually use this stuff in the real world. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be hitting the 6 stations of our data factory. 1. Data collection. 2. Data cleaning. 3. Data processing. 4. Data analysis. 5. Data visualization. And 6. Reporting and decision-making. Let's get into it. Starting off with Step 1, data collection. This is where the whole journey kicks off. I mean, before you can build a house, you need raw materials, right? Just think about your last Amazon purchase. You probably thought you just, logged on and bought a pair of shoes. But notice the invisible data points Amazon was quietly capturing in the background. They track the exact time you spent looking at the page, the specific items you clicked on but maybe didn't buy, what actually made it into your cart, and the exact search queries you typed into that bar. This is the gathering phase. Every major company starts right here, casting a really wide net to capture all this unrefined, raw information directly from us, the users. Which brings us to Step 2. Data cleaning. Now let's be real. Raw data? It is incredibly messy. On the left side of your screen, just imagine Swiggy trying to deliver your dinner using missing street names or dealing with some weird glitch that recorded your biryani order 3 separate times. No way, right? If they actually used that messy data, their delivery drivers would be totally lost, and the kitchen would waste a ton of food. Data cleaning is this rigorous process of sweeping away those errors, scrubbing out the duplicates, and filling in the blanks. So by the time it reaches the clean side on the right, we've got accurate, streamlined order logs. You simply cannot make good decisions with bad data. It's impossible, which is exactly why cleaning is an absolutely crucial step. Okay, just checking back in on our factory floor here. We've collected our raw materials, and we've swept away the errors. We're now transitioning away from that messy reality and into the highly structured world of processing and analysis.
Moving on to Step 3, data processing. Essentially, data processing formats information into one consistent structure. We have this clean data now, right? But it might still be speaking completely different languages. Think of it kind of like standardizing currency. If a global company has sales data coming in from the US in dollars, Europe in euros, and India in rupees, they can't exactly add those numbers together easily. Processing converts all of those numbers into a single unified format. Or take dates, for example. One system records your sign-up as December 1st. Another says 12/01. Another says 01-12. Processing forces them all into one identical format. It might sound like a super subtle difference from cleaning, but honestly, it is all about structure and organization. It's setting the perfect stage for our next big aha moment.
And here we go, Step 4, data analysis. This right here is the climax of our assembly line. This is where we stop organizing and we start asking questions to uncover those hidden patterns. Let's look at a practical example. By mapping Instagram engagement across the day, the analysis team discovers that, hey, look at that, engagement spikes massively at 7 p.m. on weekdays. Now, the raw data couldn't tell you this, and the clean data was literally just organized numbers. But through analysis, Instagram's teams apply logic to actually find the trend. They discover exactly when you are most active. This is the exact step where data officially becomes an insight. It's basically the detective work of the whole life cycle.
Which leads us to Step 5, data visualization. So we've found the insights. But listen, handing your boss a massive spreadsheet full of raw numbers, yeah, that is a terrible way to communicate. Visualizations transforms those complex insights into clear, accessible pictures. Just take a look at this breakdown of Netflix viewers. Let's say the analysis team found that sci-fi viewing just shot up by 40%. Instead of burying that awesome fact in a dense, boring report, creating a bright, clear visual where that sci-fi slice noticeably dominates the chart instantly tells the story.
Literally anyone, from the marketing intern all the way up to the CEO, can look at this screen and instantly understand the universal language that drives action.
And that brings us to our final stop, Step 6, reporting and decision-making.
Because the ultimate goal of this entire assembly line isn't just to make pretty charts, you know? It's to trigger a tangible, real-world business action. The sheer weight of a data-backed decision is massive. Look at this quote right here. Launch next-day delivery in Mumbai. Boom. Imagine you're working at Flipkart. Because you collected user locations, cleaned out the fake addresses, processed the delivery times, analyzed the warehouse logistics, and then visualized the demand on a map, you can now walk into a boardroom with total confidence and say, hey, we have the data to prove that next-day delivery in Mumbai will increase sales by 20%. That is a multi-million-dollar business decision, completely driven by the life cycle we just walked through. You didn't just look at numbers, you literally changed the way a massive company operates in the real world. How cool is that? So let's look at our complete workflow one last time. First, we collected the digital footprints. Second, we cleaned up the messes. Third, we processed and structured those inputs. Fourth, we analyzed them to find the hidden patterns. Fifth, we visualized it all to tell the story clearly. And sixth, we made a decision that actually impacted the real world. This is the heartbeat of every tech giant out there today. This is exactly how companies turn your everyday clicks into massive, actionable business strategies, and they do it by rigorously following these exact 6 steps.
So the big question to ask yourself is, are you ready to turn raw data into real-world impact? You've seen the map, you understand the factory floor, and you now know the language of how top companies operate. The data is out there, just waiting to be shaped into something meaningful.
And hey, if you found this exciting, believe me, this is just the beginning. Come join the Horizon Intern Data Analyst Internship Program today, and let's actually start building your career in data. We are going to go so much deeper in our upcoming modules, turning you from a beginner into a strategic thinker who can absolutely drive these kinds of massive insights.
Now, while our production team grabs the metadata they need from this final screen, I want to leave you with one last thought. You've seen the map and you now know the language of how top companies operate. So as you log off today and open your favorite apps, take a second and ask yourself what story is your data telling right now and who is using it to make their next $1 million decision.